Hi, good morning.
Here's your package, Mr. Calder.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Calder. Britisk statsborger, 50 år gammel. Det ligner gift. Vi skal vide alt om ham. Hvem han var, hvad han lavede, hans familieforhold. Venner. Alt. Prisen til hans skostørrelse. Giften kom fra den der. Det tror vi. Den blev sendt til ham på hotellet. Hvad lavede han i København? Han var på forretningsrejse. Eric Calder ejer virksomheden, der producerer de her småkager.
Greetings from Badger's Drift.
Eric Calder was a prominent figure. His family had been making biscuits in Badger's Drift for over a century.
Any idea who might want him dead?
No, we'll be talking to his family this morning, see what they can tell us.
It's upside down.
Where was the package sent from?
We don't know specifically, but it was franked by a UK mail company. Now, we're still waiting for the full pathology report. But we believe Calder absorbed the poison through his skin.
It would have had to have been something pretty lethal to kill him that quickly.
Morning.
Obviously, we need to coordinate our efforts. But as Calder's life was in midsummer, we'll be relying on you to do most of the physical investigation.
Oh, for crying out loud, Nelson.
TCI Barnaby. Are you all right?
Fine, thanks. We'll be in touch.
Han lød lidt distraheret. Alle englænder lyder distraheret.
Right, then. Mobile charge?
Check.
Backup mobile?
Check.
You're sure?
Mobile charged, backup charged, landline working, and bat signal primed.
This is serious. You're a week from your due date. You could go at any minute.
If I feel even so much as a twinge, I will call you, I promise. Now, please go.
Detective Dine is certainly thorough.
According to the file, Eric Calder has a wife and son, Penelope and Harry, and a younger brother, Julian. He's been living with Eric for the last year.
Right, Nelson, best behaviour. The Calder family is like royalty round here. Julian Calder.
Can I help you?
Detective Chief Inspector Barnaby. This is Detective Sergeant Nelson.
You hear about Eric?
We need to ask a few questions.
All right, well, Penn's inside. On a call with the funeral people. She won't be long.
Your brother was well liked?
You think? Most of these are from business acquaintances. Eric lived for his work. Very few friends.
But at least one enemy.
So it would seem. These gentlemen are detectives. Here to ask questions about Eric.
You don't look Danish.
We're assisting in the investigation.
The undertaker has been difficult.
Well, I'm sure you can talk him round. Penn's got big plans for tomorrow.
I mean to give my husband a dignified send-off. Stop calling me Penn.
Could you take Mr. Calder's statement, please?
I imagine it won't take you too long to find out who killed him. Eric barely knew anyone in Copenhagen.
Did he visit there often?
A dozen times in the last few months. He was negotiating a contract to supply product to a company out there.
Do you have a name for this company?
Toft Biscuits.
Actually, Mrs. Calder, we think it might be someone a little closer to home. The package that poisoned your husband was sent from the UK.
What? That's impossible. I mean, no one here would want Eric dead. Everyone loved him.
Everyone?
Calder's Biscuits put this village on the map. Eric made it a success.
Sometimes success breeds resentment.
Not in this case.
Can you think of anyone who might have wanted to kill your brother?
No. Well, I suppose Eric did have a tendency to lord it over people.
What about your nephew, Harry?
What about him?
Did he get on with his dad?
Well, they weren't terribly close. But then Harry was always Penn's boy.
Where can we find him?
Probably down at Mrs. Trout's. Tea room in the village. Got a thing for the waitress there.
Julian! I need you in here!
Seems you woke the dragon, Detective.
Get down to the tea room, see what Harry Calder has to say for himself.
You don't want to come along?
I think I'll pay a visit to the factory. If Eric Calder lived for his work, I want to see where he spent his time.
Didn't expect to see you today.
Either this or hang around the house.
Oh, here, take this.
Oh, thanks. 6 months, summer, and you still can't make a decent coffee.
Well, it tastes better when you pay for it.
Isn't my company payment enough?
Not for Clara. She's been checking the tills. I'm on my last warning. Thank you. So you're ready for tomorrow?
Is anyone ready to bury their dad?
You'll get through it, Harry.
What about you? Are you going to be there?
I can't. Your mum's booked us to do the food. I'll be setting up at the house.
Harry Calder?
Yeah.
When did you last see your dad?
A few days ago.
And how did he seem?
He seemed disappointed, as usual, banging on about me getting a job.
You weren't planning to follow him into the family business?
What? Cooped up in that factory all day? No thanks. Prefer to breathe.
Did you talk about anything else?
Not really.
Was he, anxious or preoccupied?
Look, even if he was, he wouldn't confide in me. Dad and I weren't that close.
DCI Barnaby, you've been admiring our awards.
Very impressive.
Clara Trout, product manager.
Trout, as in Mrs. Trout's tea room.
Oh, not quite. I'm afraid that Mrs. Trout's no longer with us. The tea room belonged to Mum. She left it to me.
That's quite an heirloom.
More of a millstone.
Poor Mr. Calder, such a shock.
Did you know him well?
Well, Mr. Calder, he didn't really mix with the staff. Even so, everyone's very upset about his death.
And yet life goes on.
Well, needs must. We've got a large shipment going out to Denmark tonight.
The Toft contract?
That's right.
Armand is determined to get it out, no matter what.
Armand?
Armand Stone, our master baker, and the man responsible for golden clusters. Armand is a genius. He's always coming up with new creations, always working. He was Mr. Calder's right-hand man. This way.
Clara Trout, come here at once. I need your expert opinion.
Absolutely wonderful, Armand. Wonderful.
Correct answer. Tell me, who is this man?
DCI Barnaby. It's come about Mr. Calder.
Of course, Eric. Terrible shock.
Did you know Eric Calder well?
Eric provided the space and the resources for me to create my art.
You mean he was your boss?
Prefer to think of us as partners.
Does the factory have a franking machine?
In the mailroom, just next door.
Could you bring me a letter, please?
What kind of letter?
A franked one. Quite a setup you have here.
Well, as I said, Eric went out of his way to ensure that I had everything that I needed.
Were you and he close?
We made an excellent team.
DCI Barnaby? A franked letter.
Is there a problem?
There's no shipment going out tonight. It seems that the contaminated package came from the mailroom in this factory. I'm shutting you down.
Oh dear.
Right, we want all the staff together, please.
We need a list of everyone who has access to the factory mailroom.
It's going to be a long list.
And speak to the personnel department and run a background check on Armand Stone. I want to know more about him. No more Calder's biscuits for a while.
Why? What's wrong with them?
This is what killed Eric Calder. A tin like this was coated with poison. I had to close down the factory today.
Biscuit tin as a murder weapon?
It's hardly conventional, I know. The tin was symbolic. It means something. We just need to find out what.
Well, you better find out before Friday.
Don't fret. I will be there for D-Day.
Even if you haven't solved the case?
Of course, I will have solved the case.
You'd better. Now, I need a foot rub.
I had a word with the undertaker.
What?
Well, he said he was being difficult, so I decided to put him straight.
You didn't have to do that.
I thought you'd be pleased.
Look, it's my duty to handle the funeral. He was my husband.
Yeah, and he was my brother. You know, it's just as important to me to see that Eric gets the funeral he deserves. Look, tomorrow we lay Eric to rest. And then life, as they say, goes on. Been hell. You're so strong. I don't know how you've coped.
Well, if it had been for Harry and you.
You're an amazing woman.
We shouldn't do this tonight.
Do you want me to go then?
No. I want you to stay.
Ernest.
Atticus?
The whole village is buzzing. Everyone's talking. No one can believe it. Eric Calder, eh? How the mighty fall.
Quite.
Quite. Is that all you can say? Quite. How many times have these been used?
3.
Oh. If we get Penelope in the right mood, she might let us clear Eric's study.
I doubt she'll be looking to get rid so soon after her husband's death.
Grief's a strange thing. She might see it as a new start. What we need is a charm offensive. And milk. What we really need is milk.
What we need is something bigger than the scraps from the Calder's table. Look at us scouring the bits for some lonely widow to pop off. What have we got? We've got granny flat here, garage there. Small potatoes.
We get by.
The bank would disagree with you. What we need, brother, is a grand plan.
Where are we going to find one of those?
Maybe. I already have.
Pathology came back on Eric Calder. Cause of death was asphyxiation brought on by exposure to strychnine.
Strychnine isn't easy to come by.
Banned substance, but you can still get hold of it. Used in agriculture as a way to deal with pests and vermin.
Can it be synthesized?
Not without a PhD in chemistry.
Well, Armand Stone didn't quite have that, but he did study chemistry at uni. Started at Calder's in early 1995. 3 weeks into the job, he creates golden clusters. They become an overnight success, and he becomes unbearable.
Who has access to the factory lab?
Officially, Armand and Clara, but the factory's security isn't exactly watertight, so anyone could get in there.
What about forensics?
They did a sweep of the building, but they found no traces of any poison.
So the factory's back open?
6 o'clock this morning.
What about Armand's relationship with Calder?
Testy, apparently. The feeling is that Armand was getting frustrated. He felt that he should be running the factory.
They argued?
Like an old married couple.
And yet Armand claims that he and Calder had the perfect business partnership. Come on, let's go and see him. If you and Eric Calder made such an excellent team, why did you spend so much of your time arguing with each other?
Tongues have been wagging, haven't they? The truth of it is that Eric and I often disagreed. But don't get me wrong, he was a solid businessman, but he lacked vision.
Unlike you.
I am a creative. I thrive on new ideas. Eric liked to live in the past.
So safe to say you were frustrated with his leadership of the company?
I felt that we needed someone bolder.
Eric Calder was killed by coming into contact with a lethal poison.
So I've been told.
You've got a chemistry background.
You know, if you're looking for someone with a reason to kill Eric, you might want to have words with his son.
Why would Harry Calder kill his dad?
All I know is that they had quite the row in the tea rooms the day before he died. Staff were gossiping about it. By all accounts, Harry was furious. Now, if there's nothing else, I have quite an important funeral to attend.
What on earth is keeping him? We're going to be late.
Well, I'm sure they won't start without us.
Oh, there you are. The car is waiting.
I'll make my own way.
What? No. No, we go together.
Why?
Oh, because we're a family. That's why.
Some family.
Harry.
The boy's lost his father. He's upset. All right. Come on.
Excuse me. I'm looking for Summer Halliston.
She's inside.
Thank you. Summer Halliston.
You're trying to give me a heart attack.
Sorry, I just wanted a quick word.
What about?
The trouble in the tea room last week.
What trouble?
Apparently there was an argument between Harry Calder and his dad.
Yeah, they had some words.
Any idea what it was about?
Not really. Just a lot of shouting.
And who was doing the most shouting?
It was hard to say. I was in the kitchen when it kicked off, so I didn't see.
Are you friends with Harry Calder?
I know him.
Did he discuss the argument after?
Not really.
He didn't say anything about it.
It was between him and his dad. Family stuff. Private. So he didn't need to give me an explanation, okay?
Harry, wait a moment.
Leave me alone.
Harry!
I'm so sorry. He was a fine man. I know this must be a difficult time. Rest assured, Calder's is in good hands.
Not now, Armand.
Gathering clues, DCI Barnaby.
I'm just paying my respects. I was under the impression that Harry and his mum were close.
Oh, they're usually as thick as thieves. Had to be, I suppose. Mr. Calder worked so hard. Mrs. Calder only had Harry. Atticus, good to see you.
You too. Pity about the circumstances.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, this is Ernest and Atticus Bradley.
DCI Barnaby.
How'd you do?
Boys do house clearances.
Ara, please. Estate valuations.
We should get back to the house.
Plenty of time.
We'll miss the buffet.
Word of advice, never get between my brother and a plate of sausage rolls.
I'd better get back too. I left Summer in charge. Dread to think what kind of a mess she's made of everything.
The police were asking questions.
About what?
Last week, you and your dad.
Oh, thanks.
So tell me, Armand, what's your secret?
The secret of golden clusters. In a word, me. I insist upon perfection. I won't take mediocrity or the average. It's just my gift. I share it with the world.
Take the Chinese, for example.
The Chinese?
Yeah, when they lose a loved one, the whole family come together, gather up the deceased's possessions, and just throw them out. Catharsis, see?
I don't think the Chinese do that.
No? Well, somewhat does. It's a damn healthy way to react, I think.
Ben, darling, it's time. All the subtlety of a hammer.
At least I'm trying.
I'd like to say a few words. Eric would have been deeply touched to see so many friends and family here. I know today is about remembering him, but Calder's Biscuits is bigger than one man. It's part of our community, and we must look to secure its future. I've been in negotiation with the board over a successor, and we believe we have found the right man to run the company. My brother-in-law, Julian Calder.
Bravo.
Julian will be the 6th member the Calder family to run the factory.
Oh, thank you, Pam. Oh, now, obviously, I can't hope to do as good a job as Eric, but I will give it my very best shot. I'm honoured to have this vote of confidence from the board.
Armand, is everything all right?
Julian.
Egg mayo isn't exactly popular.
This is salad cream.
What's the difference?
Hello. Not bad, eh?
Julian, congratulations.
Oh, thank you. Yes, I can't wait to get started.
Perhaps when you do, I have something that might be of interest to you.
Gentlemen. Now then. Congratulations.
Summer Halliston claims she doesn't know what Harry and Eric were arguing over.
You think she's lying?
I don't know. She got pretty angry when I tried to press her on it. Ah, something else came in from the Danish crime scene. A thumbprint found on the door to Calder's hotel room.
Did they find a match?
There wasn't anything on their system. But they have a witness who claims they saw a man hanging around outside the room. It could just be a guest who was lost.
I'm not so sure. I found this on a bouquet that was sent to the cemetery.
For Evigt.
It's Danish. It means forever.
Come on. Just wondering.
I can't. I've got to get all that inside.
Then I'll help you.
No, it's all right. Give it. Whoa, easy there.
What?
Look, you've had a tough day.
Yeah. I just thought, you know.
We're friends, Harry.
Right.
Look, I liked
No,
you.
it's okay. I get the picture.
Harry, wait.
If you say so, I'll be there. You look tired. You should go to sleep.
I can't stop thinking about Harry.
Oh, for God's sake, he's a grown man. Time to cut the apron strings, don't you think?
Come to bed.
You just buried your husband.
And so I don't want to be alone.
Sorry. I have to go out.
Go out? Where?
Business.
What sort of business?
Pen, we're not married. I don't have to answer your questions. I think we should take a break, don't you? It's all getting a bit unseemly. Hello?
The flowers were delivered to the churchyard by a local florist, but the original booking came from a company in Copenhagen. Bina Flowers?
Maybe Tuft Biscuits send them.
Oh, why wouldn't they sign the card? Plus the message, forever. It sounds personal.
Okay, we'll look into it. I just hope this isn't all you have.
Now, come on, you can't spend all morning in bed. It's a beautiful day out there. You're young, you should be out enjoying yourself.
John! John!
It's okay. Keep breathing. Okay, all set. Let's go.
Let's go where?
You called for me.
There's a spider in the bath.
You sounded like you were in distress.
Well, I am. You should see the size of it.
What?
Thank you for coming. To be honest, we really don't know what to make of it.
What exactly is it?
I made sure nobody touched anything. See what I mean?
Looks like someone's had a party.
This was no party. Who was in here last night?
No one. The early shift starts at 6.
Did they see anyone around?
I want to know who was in that chair.
Where is he? I'm not having this.
Armand, we have a situation here.
You better believe we do. He's in my space, my designated parking space.
Who is?
Julian Calder. His car is out there, parked in my space.
Excuse me, we found a broken window just around there. I thought I'd better let you know.
Thank you. One of the downstairs windows is smashed. Looks like someone broke in.
Ground underneath's dry. It's been here all night. Search the factory. Find him. And get Kate and her team down here. I want the factory and the car processed.
Sure.
I have no idea where Julian is.
When did you last see him?
Last night, before he went out.
What time was this?
About midnight, he got a call.
Did he say where he was going?
No. Why, is there a problem?
Did he take the call on his mobile?
No, the landline.
I need to see his room.
What? Why?
His clothes are still here.
Well, of course they are. Now, will you please tell me what is going on?
Your brother-in-law is missing.
Oh, don't be so absurd. Julian just probably went for a drive somewhere.
His car was abandoned at the factory.
A call came in at 12:13. A mobile registered to Harry Calder.
Where is your son, Mrs. Calder? Mrs. Calder?
I don't know. I haven't seen him.
Ernest, what have you done?
Well, it's nice to be trusted.
It's not that I don't trust you, Summer, but you can be careless. What are those doing up there?
Just some posters. Gives this place a bit of a vibe.
My mother ran a traditional village tea room. It doesn't need a vibe.
Reckon your mum would have liked them.
Take them down.
many did you have last night?
Do you want an exact number?
Come on, let's get you up.
We need to talk to you, Harry.
Where's Julian?
Look, I don't know where Julian is.
Harry, we know that you telephoned your uncle last night and that he left the house shortly after that call.
What was so important that you had to call him after midnight?
Was it the same thing you and your dad argued over in the tea room? Harry, you need to start talking to me because this isn't looking good.
2 meetings, your dad and your uncle. One ends up dead, the other disappears.
Wait, you think I killed Dad? You want to know why I got so angry with Dad? Because he was leaving my mum.
He told you this?
Just giving you the heads up, Harry. Don't worry, you'll understand it later. Well, at least he was right on one thing. It all makes sense now.
What makes sense?
She tried to make out that Dad was the bad guy. And meanwhile,
Your mother and Julian.
So you called your uncle to confront him about his relationship with
It's
your
not
mum?
a relationship. He's using her. But just think about it. He kills Dad. He gets Mum, the house, the factory.
So what did he say when you met him?
I don't know.
You arranged to meet him at the tea shop?
Yeah. But he never showed.
Julian's service provider says he got a call on his mobile at 12:20. That's after Harry called him at the house.
Do we know who it was from?
Yes, pay-as-you-go mobile. But we do know that the call lasted a minute.
Enough time for someone to arrange a meeting and then break into the factory.
So now we're saying that 2 people wanted to meet Julian after midnight.
He was a man in demand last night.
I've been doing some digging. Julian started at Calder's with Eric before he went abroad. About a year ago, he lost a lot of money in a Spanish property deal. Maybe he figured that killing his brother was the answer to all his problems.
So where on earth is he now?
Now, he'll turn up.
That's what worries me. Sarah? Sarah!
It's here.
Thank you. Are you sure you're going to be okay?
It's only for one night.
I know, but it's Denmark. It's not like I can just pop back if you need me.
Look, I'm sure I'll muddle through. Anyway, Kate's going to call round. I'll be fine.
But just in case, take this.
Who's Andrew Copeland?
He's the best high-speed pursuit driver in the Midsummer Constabulary. If you go into labour, call him. He will get you to the hospital faster than any ambulance.
Look, don't be so ridiculous. I do not want a pursuit driver taking me to the hospital. You are going to take me. You made a promise and I'm holding you to it.
You better get going.
I'll check in every hour.
I can't wait.
Hi, Sarah. I've been brushing up on my Danish.
When you say brushing up...
I started learning last night.
Right.
Tak. Ha' en dejlig dag.
Spoken like a native. You forgot one thing, though.
What?
The receipt. Come on, Detective Poulsen is waiting inside.
Nå, skal vi gå ned og få hils på vores engelske bobbies? Jeg vil ikke kalde dem bobbies. Jeg læste deres filer i går aftes. Kriminalkommissær Barnaby har stor erfaring. Aha.
Vores gæster fra udlandet.
Tak. Vicepolitikommissær Birgitte Poulsen.
Nice to meet you. Mrs. D.S. Nelson.
Hej, kriminalassistent Anna Dein.
Hi. It's great to be here. I love your country. It's very beautiful.
Oh, so you've been to Denmark before?
No.
Then how do you know it's beautiful?
What I've seen of it so far. I mean, you know, the journey from the airport, the motorways. It's very clean. It's very flat.
You done?
Yes, thank you.
Good.
So let's get started. Detective Dine will take your sergeant to the crime scene at a Tuft factory, and you and I will go to the morgue.
Actually, I'd like to see the Tuft factory.
Nonsense. You'll come to the morgue. Come. Shall we? So now you have two buddies.
So it would seem.
And they keep turning up here.
Yes, that is unfortunate. Did you get anywhere with the florist?
The bouquet was bought by credit card, belonging to a pastor in Klausted, by the name of Thomas Madsen.
And how does this Madsen know Calder?
Apparently he doesn't. He says his card was stolen a few weeks back. Hope you're not squeamish.
I have been in a morgue before.
How long have you worked with Poulsen?
We teamed up about 4 years ago.
She's quite a personality.
You noticed? Birgitte's a little eccentric. I mean, she can be blunt, but she's a good detective.
Oh, well, she's certainly blunt.
Warren. What about Barnaby? What's he like?
Again, good detective, gets results. He can be a little prickly at times.
Prickly meets blunt, huh?
Yeah. I'm not sure how that'll work out.
Cause of death, asphyxiation.
He drowned in alcohol.
The pathologist found his stomach and lungs were full of malt whiskey.
Unlikely to have been self-inflicted.
Deep markings on both his wrists.
He was restrained. His head was held back and the bottle was forced down his throat. Everything here tallies with the crime scene at the Calder's factory, which means he was killed in midsummer.
And that makes him your problem. So, this is, as you can see.
Forensics get anything on it?
Too much. Numerous fingerprints, hair samples, lots of cross-contamination.
Yeah, half the staff at Calder's came into contact with this at some point.
Dears Nelson, this is Albert Toft. He's the director of Toft Biscuits. Dears Nelson is over from England.
A terrible tragedy. First Mr. Calder and now his brother. Very sad.
We understand Calder's had a deal with you to supply their goods.
That was the plan at first. But then Eric Calder made us a better offer.
A better offer?
To sell Calder's to Toft.
According to Toft, Calder was in negotiations to sell the business.
We checked with Eric's solicitors. They were vague, but confirmed he was exploring his options in regards to the company.
Legal speak for it was happening.
So not only was Eric Calder leaving his wife, but he was also selling up.
Sounds like he was running away.
Question is, where was he running to?
Okay, Marvin.
It's Barnaby. Are you at the factory?
Yeah.
I need to talk to one of the uniform boys. Is there anybody there?
They've all gone. Can I help?
Maybe. There's something I need you to check.
It's only a box.
It's trouble, and you know it.
Try not to fret.
Try not to fret. First Eric, and now Julian. We've got to get rid of it.
Get rid?
Pretend we never saw it.
Well, we could do that, of course. Or we could use what's inside to our advantage.
What are you talking about?
Just leave everything to me, brother.
Okay, what have you got?
There's nothing to prove conclusively that Calder was planning to run away, but his personal box files are all empty, which is strange. And there's a letter in his in tray, which looks like he was dealing with a property company in Copenhagen.
Do we have a name?
The Brunn Agency.
Mr. Calder bought the property a few weeks ago. He was very keen.
We went through Calder's financial records. There was no mention of this.
It was all a little mysterious, but above board. And I guess he did it that way because he didn't want to spoil the surprise.
What surprise?
Well, I assume the cabin was a gift. Why else would he put it in her name?
Whose name?
Ingrid Madsen. She owns the place.
Where can you find her?
If she's not at the cabin, I assume she'll be at her former address. Here we go. Ingrid Madsen. She lives in Klausstedt with her brother.
Thomas Madsen?
Yes. How did you know that?
Get out of my factory!
I was only trying to help.
Out, or I'll call security.
You're making a mistake.
Thomas Madsen.
Ja?
Vicepolitikommissær Poulsen, Københavns Politi. And this is DCI Barnaby from the UK. We're looking for your sister.
I'm afraid Ingrid has gone away for a few days. Perhaps I could help. As I explained on the phone, my credit card was stolen.
But you didn't report it at the time.
No, I was too embarrassed. I left my car unlocked. I deserved what I got.
A funeral bouquet is an unusual item for a credit card thief to buy. Normally they go for laptops and clothes. Flowers are a bit personal.
I suppose you're right.
So you never met Eric Calder?
No, I'm afraid not.
Maybe this will jog your memory.
Sorry, I don't know that man.
What about Ingrid? Did you know him?
No.
How can you be so sure?
My sister tells me everything.
Did she tell you that Eric Calder purchased a property in her name?
This is very worrying. Clearly, this Calder was involved in some form of fraud, buying a property in her name.
Isn't it more likely that Ingrid did know him, but didn't tell you?
No, because my sister tells me everything. So now, if you'll excuse me, I have to prepare for the evening service.
So, what do you think?
I think you should get your lab to pull his print off this photo. And I'll bet you breakfast that it matches the print found on Calder's hotel door.
You're sneaky. That impresses me.
Well, I'm glad you're impressed.
Hvordan kan du være så dum, Ingrid?
There. That should do it.
Well done. Oh, you put the boys to shame.
You quite like those, don't you?
Addicted. John won't let me eat them because of the Calder business, so I have to binge before he gets back.
While the cat's away.
The mouse eats her weight in biscuits.
How's John getting on with the Danes?
Fine. He hasn't really said much.
Oh, you should hear Nelson. Apparently, Dine and Paulson are, quote, stunning.
Charlie said that?
Do I not mention it?
No. No, he didn't.
Well, they're probably quite ordinary. Nelson has a tendency to exaggerate. I thought you were addicted to those.
Well, I've lost my taste for them. Come. Sit. Let's eat.
Eat? Birgitta, my wife is a day from her due date. I'm on the evening flight. I don't have time to eat.
But I owe you breakfast. You were right. The print on Calder's hotel door belonged to Thomas Madsen.
Good. Let's go and see him.
Wait! Wait, I have other news.
Tell me on the way.
I looked into Ingrid last night, and I came across a child born in Copenhagen in 1989.
Okay, so Ingrid has a child.
Not anymore. She gave Alice up for adoption a month after she was born. The birth certificate lists the father as unknown, but take a look at the child's full name.
Alice Calder Madsen.
Wow, that is quite a view.
When you said a cabin, I was thinking of something a little more rustic, you know? Like, log fires, rocking chairs.
Bearskin rug.
Yeah, exactly. Not like this. This is nicer than my flat. If I actually had a flat.
Hallo, det er politiet.
Thomas Madsen? We caught him trying to clear the place out when we arrived.
What was he taking?
He says it was his sister's things.
Let me deal with him. Ingrid's belongings, correct?
This is just a misunderstanding.
Nonsense. Let me tell you what we know. We know Ingrid had a relationship with Eric Calder. We know the relationship produced a child, and you had the child adopted. And finally, we know that you were outside Eric Calder's door the day he died.
I was just trying to protect my sister.
Protect her. From what?
From Calder, of course. He was going to ruin her life all over again.
And how was he going to do that?
He filled her head with dreams of them being together.
So you went to see him at the hotel?
I went to warn him. To tell him to stay away from Ingrid for good. But I was too late. Somebody had got to him before me. And now, my sister is broken-hearted. And no doubt, she will blame me again.
Where is Ingrid now?
Ingrid? We need to talk about Eric.
It was a concert in Copenhagen. I was studying at the music academy, and Eric was in the city for a trade fair. He was at the concert to pass the time.
And when was that?
16th of February, 1989. We talked during the interval, then we went for dinner. Before I knew it, I spent the week in his hotel room. I was young, felt exciting, reckless.
A little too reckless.
Oh, no, Eric made it clear that the week was a one-off. Just taking over the business, married with a son. I knew he wouldn't give all that up.
You, didn't tell him you were pregnant.
No. Instead, I came back to Gloucester.
How did Thomas feel about the baby?
He wasn't happy. Thought I'd been careless. And he was right.
And he arranged the adoption?
Through his contacts, he found her a good home. It was hard, but after some time, I just got on with my life.
Until Eric contacted you again?
Yeah, he was just standing there, out front. He looked older, but still the same. Said he was here on business and that he'd been thinking about me a lot.
How did the cabin come about?
Eric wanted us to meet again, but I was worried what Thomas would say. So he rented the cabin, our secret place, go there to be with him.
And then he bought it for you?
Oh, no. Oh, he bought it for us. He wasn't happy at home. He decided to leave. And we were going to start all over again.
Did you tell Eric about Alice?
No. I was planning to, but I don't know. I was too scared, I suppose.
You never wanted to contact her?
She sent a letter a few years ago. She wanted to meet, and I wanted to, but... You know, Thomas thought it was a bad idea. He's not a bad person. He just wants to look after me, like all brothers do. It was a beautiful letter. So bright and passionate. She told me all about her life in London. It sounded so exciting.
We're heading for the airport now, so I'll see you in a couple of hours. Okay, bye.
Let's hope she holds out.
We don't have much time, Nelson.
We've got it. Alice Madsen, born on the 4th of December, 1989 in Clousted.
And she was adopted a few months later by Ella and James Haleston?
Halliston.
She changed her name. We need to talk to Summer when we get back.
Flight leaves in an hour.
Don't worry, you'll make it. Especially with our flat motorways.
Birgitta, thank you for everything.
No need. And good luck with the baby.
Yes, good luck.
So, I just wanted to say...
Nelson!
Du kommer til at savne dem, gør du ikke?
Nonsense.
It's only cheap supermarket fizz, but it'll do for now.
What are we drinking too?
Ah. Eric Calder. Eric.
I may be better looking, but you, Ernest, are the brains of the outfit.
Ah. It was nothing. Just some creative thinking and hard bargaining.
What was that?
That's nothing. It's just the wind.
There's no wind tonight. I'll go and investigate.
Oh, go on then. Look for clues.
It's just a fox! Infernal nuisance. Always at the bins. What we need is a shotgun. Do you want a sandwich? I've got cheese. What's the matter? Are you not talking? Who's there?
Where's Summer Halliston?
We sent a PC to pick her up last night, but there was no answer at her flat. How's Sarah?
Still pregnant?
Sarge, you might want to have a look at these receipts.
You know these two?
Ernest and Atticus Bradley.
Well, as you can see, they've both sustained a deep, penetrating injury to the heart.
Are they carving forks?
Your killer had a good aim.
How long have they been dead?
About 12 hours, give or take. I'm guessing the apples are symbolic.
Greedy little pigs.
Sir, I've got a receipt dated 3 days before Eric Calder died. It looks like he hired the Bradleys to ship some personal items.
To Calder's cabin in Denmark?
But there's no record that it was sent.
So where is it?
Letters, cards, photographs. This is basically Eric Calder's memories.
It looks like a recipe book. Some pages have been torn out.
Right. Thank you. Summer Halliston just turned up at the station.
You go and speak to her. Find out what contact she had with Eric Calder. I'll go and see how much Penelope knows about her husband's double life.
I want to know what this is about.
It's about Eric Calder, your dad, or your biological dad, if you prefer. Let's start with you telling me what kind of a relationship you had with him.
We didn't have a relationship.
What do you mean?
I never told him who I was.
You've been here 6 months.
I know.
So why didn't you tell him?
Maybe I was waiting for the right moment.
Or maybe you saw your chance to really make him pay for his years of neglect. Maybe you got here and you saw the big house and the factory and all that money.
I didn't come here for his money. I came to find out who my real dad was.
So why didn't you tell him?
Because I was scared. That's why. Yeah, he had the big house and the money and he was an important man. But what was he going to think when he found out his daughter was a waitress? I just didn't want to disappoint him.
So where were you last night?
I watched a film and I went to bed. I was shattered from working in the cafe. Look, as soon as I heard you wanted to speak to me, I came to the station of my own accord. I haven't done anything.
Okay. You're free to go, for now.
Hey, heard you were here.
Yeah.
So what do they want?
Harry, there's something I need to tell you.
Well, go on then.
Not here. Let's go to the tea room.
What's going on? Why were you with the police?
They wanted to talk about Dad.
What's your dad got to do with this?
Our Dad.
I must say, I am disappointed. 2 days in Denmark, and all you found out was that Eric bought a cabin.
That's not all we found out. And the rest may be difficult for you to hear.
Oh. Let's see if I can guess, shall we? A woman, probably my age. Danish, no doubt. Someone Eric met a long time ago. His Copenhagen adventure.
Ingrid.
Oh, I knew he'd met someone. He was different when he came back.
Didn't you confront him?
Oh, there's no point. He wasn't going to leave me for her. So I just let it be.
Did you know they had a child?
Well, it seems you had a productive 2 days after all, DCI Barnaby. Tell me, did this child have a name?
Summer.
Waitress? Why didn't you tell me?
Because I didn't know either. She never said a word.
I must say, I never expected that.
There's something else. We found this amongst your husband's things. Have you ever seen it?
It's not Eric's handwriting.
Or Julian's?
No.
What about the recipes?
Well, they're all Calder recipes.
According to Penelope, this book has all the Calder's biscuit recipes, but there's one recipe missing. The most important recipe Calder's ever had.
Golden clusters.
Exactly. Now, Eric didn't come up with this, and I doubt Armand did either. See? This notebook is dated 1994.
That's a year before Armand started.
So, who else was at Calder's then?
Oh, hold on a minute. I found some newspaper cuttings in here. These are mostly local press reports on the factory. New product launches, charity events, open days. But look. Yeah, here. This is a photograph of the Calders on the factory floor from June 1994. A young Eric, a young Julian.
Yes. But look here. I think that's the recipe book. We need to find this woman.
Something new for me to try.
No.
Anything wrong?
Why would anything be wrong?
I don't know. I saw you arguing yesterday with Ernest.
Are you spying on me?
No, I was just passing.
And gathering gossip?
Armand, I would never gossip about...
Have you any idea, even an inkling of the kind of pressure I'm under?
I was just trying to help.
Well, I don't need your help.
I think it's showtime.
Her name is Agnes Trout. She worked at Calder's as a baker from 75 to 94.
If this is her book, she came up with the most successful recipe Calder's ever had.
Well, she left shortly after this shop was taken and opened the tea room.
How did she afford a tea room?
A payoff.
So, a small village tea room in exchange for her golden clusters recipe?
Then why did Armand claim that he invented golden clusters? Has all this been to protect his secret?
We need to get to the factory.
Did you hear about the Bradleys?
Hope you don't think I had anything to do with that.
You didn't say what your argument was about with Ernest.
It was nothing.
Didn't seem like nothing.
It's not important.
Not important?
Don't worry about it.
Oh, I'm not worried about it.
We need another way in.
Sir, the ovens.
I'm saving you till last, Armand.
Clara, what on earth are you doing?
Question is how to kill you. Eric was poisoned. Clean but remote. Julian was long, hard. I was worn out by it. Frankly, the Bradleys were just easy.
Clara, please, I don't understand.
Oh, I think you do, Armand. I got these pages back from the Bradleys. Agnes's golden clusters. It's my mum's recipe, the one that you stole from her.
I've never seen that before in my life.
Yes, you are a fraud. Small man. No integrity. I've seen you swan around this factory, the way you treat people. Well, no more, Armand. No more.
Clara! This isn't what your mother would have wanted.
You didn't know her.
Then tell me about her.
She was a good woman. She took a long time to die. That tea room killed her.
And that couldn't have been easy for you.
Get me off this!
You want to know the worst bit? Finding out on her deathbed that she came up with this. They took advantage of her. I made sure they paid.
The Bradleys? They didn't cheat her. Why did they have to die?
They tried to sell me my mother's recipe. As if this was just about the money.
Then what is it about?
She died. Unsung. Unknown. Was he? He got all the adulation and all the praise.
You think this will bring your mother the recognition she deserves?
I want the world to know how talented she was.
All the world will know is what you've done, the lives you've taken.
One more won't make a difference.
Nelson!
It wasn't my idea. Eric and Julian, they forced me to do it.
Did they force you to accept all those awards, all that praise, the money?
Nelson! I've got him! Okay. I'm a fraud. I was just a front. I'm just a mediocre man. Your mother was the real genius.
Yes. Yes, she was.
Easy. Easy.
Your mother, she made a deal.
Yeah. They bought her off with a poxy tea room.
The tea room was just a sweetener. You were the main part of that deal.
What are you talking about?
She made Eric promise to employ you for life.
That's not true.
She insisted that you had talent. That's why you got the job.
She traded the recipe for your career.
Why would she do that?
She loved you, Clara. Her legacy isn't golden clusters. It's something far more valuable. You. Nelson, can you take this from here?
Sir.
Come on, out of them! Don't blame the hospital! Excuse me. Sorry.
Police! Emergency!
What can I get you? Hello, Alice.
Thank you.
She's beautiful.
She is, isn't she?
She's got your eyes.
Your nose and mouth.
All she needs is my irrepressible wit, and she'll be perfect in every way.
She is already. I thought of her name. Betty.
Betty Barnaby. I like that. A toast to the prettiest girl in the world and her beautiful mother.
Thank you. Oh, time for me to have a hold. Oh, wow.
Birgitta and Anna sent this to the station, all the way from Denmark.
Oh, that's very kind of them.
They're coming over for the court case next month. Be here for a few weeks.
Nelson's planning to show Sergeant Dine the delights of midsummer.
Out of professional courtesy.
Oh, okay, go back to Mama. Oh, there you go. There.
So I promised I'd be there, and I was.
That is very true.
Daddy always keeps his promises.
Yes, he does.
But maybe next time Daddy won't cut it quite so fine.
Yes. Next time.